The very final tournament of the season has just concluded, and we finally got to see the reuniting of Peterbot and Pollo. And of course, Peterbot had to drag Pollo into his off-spawn beef versus clix and Higgs. We also have to talk about the brand new items that got added for the very final tournament of the season, which heroes were able to qualify, who failed, and so much more. We're going to see you start though. Please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we try our best to upload daily competitive content for you guys. Please use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. Follow me on my Twitch, link in the description down below, because we're going to start streaming tournaments again next season. Let's start off this video with the brand new meta. So the last update of the season was today, and the brand new items we got in competitive was both a Rift to Go and the Grappler. I know a lot of you guys might have been super worried that the Star Wars like destroyer spaceship might have been in competitive, but luckily it was not, and it is only in pubs. So if any of you guys are playing the console cups this weekend, you do not have to worry about that. Both of these items that got added today are honestly very useful though. I'm very curious if any of these items are going to be staying in the game going into next season with an actual FNCS, but I am also just so glad that this Star Wars season is finally over. Let's move on to everybody that was able to qualify for finals though. First place we had Seek, Freeze, and Veer on 345. They won the most matches in the opens, winning 4 out of the 6 games and getting 73 elims. Huge shout out to these guys. Second place was Krillian. Third place was clix and Higgs. These guys finished with far and away the most elims in this tournament, getting 129 total elims. Of course, like historically, the best eval team of all time continues to dominate. Fourth place was Rapid, Booga, and Threats, the brand new trio. I've talked about it for 2 videos in a row now, but if you guys didn't know, Booga and Rapid have officially dropped Muzz again to pick up Threats, and this is going to be the official team going into the next FNCS. Fifth place is Brayden. Sixth place is the West FNCS winners of Baka, Pars, and Pump. Seventh place is Violet, Npen, and Zen. Eighth place is Percent. Ninth is Kicks, and then rounding out the top 10 is Mule. We had a couple other brand new trios be able to qualify for the last finals of the season, like Muzz, G-Money, and Rise in 15th, Acorn, Bolts, and Sphinx in 16th. We had Typical Gamer in 27th place. This is now back-to-back finals that Typical Gamer has made. Yesterday in the Cash Cup finals, he qualified in West, and then today he was able to make the NA Central Eval Cup finals. This trio is on such a crazy rise right now. Excited to see if they're able to make it into grand finals next season. And then in 28th place, the trio of Ritual, Peterbot, and Pollo. Now you guys know me, I have been begging for this team to play together all season long. Ever since the week that like Ritual and Pollo ended up queuing together, I thought it would happen for the next week. But then of course we got the Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot trio. And now for the very final tournament, we finally get the Peter and Pollo reuniting. And unfortunately, as we're going to talk about later, Pollo was forced to contest clix for every single game today. But still, super cool to see these guys finally getting to play together again. Of course, this can never be an official team for the rest of the year, as they are not allowed to sign the disband forms anymore, and they are both fully stuck with their trios. And then in 33rd place, a team that was just barely able to qualify of Bucky, Dukes, and Okus. Really, the only main big name that I see that was not able to qualify is like 37th place, the land qualified trio of Visual Sprites and Diminished. So let's actually move on to how the drama-filled finals went now. Now in the finals, our generational off-spawn was interrupted by none other than Typical Gamer. So I'm not even gonna lie, the Peterbot versus Clix off-spawn fight today was either 1-0 Peter, 1-1 Clix. You could call it 0-0. They pretty much split every single game. I would probably call it like 1-0 Peter. Clix did eliminate like half of them sometimes, and then the other half, they wouldn't even fight. Sometimes one of them would die to Typical Gamer. This off-spawn was really so hard to calculate who was actually winning. But in first place of the finals, winning game 3 today was Vert, Taki, and Eshu. Now they got the highest elim win of this entire tournament, getting a 17 elimination win. This is another trio that still needs to qualify for global championships next season, so very excited to see what they can actually pull off. Second place, winning the very final game of the day, was the NA West FNCS champions, one of the trios from West that have already qualified for LAN of Baka, Pars, and Pump. They got an 11 elimination win in the very final game, and also started out this tournament with a 3 elimination fifth as well. This trio is still looking very solid. And then in third place, place, their only good game was game 1 today, but it is the trio of Peterbot, Pollo, and Ritual. They got a 12 elimination win in the very first game of this tournament. Then after that, they honestly kind of just did absolutely nothing. But man, I was almost getting flashbacks to the old days of Peterbot and Pollo on high ground together in the one game that they're able to win. So cool to just be able to see them play together one final time before the new season. And then the trio in 4th place, the team that won game 2 was Golden, Void, and Ozone with a 5 elimination win. Of course, since this is an eval cup though, the rest of the leaderboard goes by how many elims you got. So 5th place was Rapid Booga and Threats. They had some really good games today, really, getting a 7 elimination 10th, 9 elimination 3rd, and a 10 elimination 2nd. This still, like they always have been, is just such a high ground oriented team. This is also another trio that is still trying to book their ticket into the global championships. Let me know in the comment section down below if you do think Booga is going to be able to do it next season. 6th place was Acorn, Bolts, and Sphinx. They had 3 pretty good games today as well, getting a 7 elimination 9th, 4 elimination 9th, and a 10 elimination 4th. Just unfortunately, we're not able to get any wins. It looks like Kanata is also officially back now as well, so the Kanata, Bolts, and Sphinx trio should be back super soon. 7th place was Dexy. 8th place was Muzz, G-Money, and Rise. They had a couple of close games, getting things like a 9 elimination 2nd and a 7 elimination 7th. I would have to assume that this is going to be the official team going into next season, unless some crazy snake season happens, but I think G-Money is probably the best pickup available for Muzz and Rise as of right now at least. 9th place was the NA West trio of Enact, Epic Whale, and Z-Link, and then rounding out the top 10 was Death, Sales, and Encrypted. We only really had a couple of other big names outside of the top 10, like 15th place of Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs. Really rough tournament from them all around, only one game inside of the top 10. They were really struggling with the triple contest off spawn, which is pretty reasonable. For anybody that's saying like, oh, typical gamers just like griefing or whatever, he literally lands there on West 2, and he was quite literally contesting like the FNCS champions in the West finals yesterday. That trio quite literally does not care who they have to contest there. They are going to land there no matter what. Then we also had like Bucky, Dukes, and Okus in 17th place, but they were unfortunately only able to play 3 games today, and they did have 1 game inside of the top 10. This is also a trio that I'm pretty sure is still planning on going to West next season and playing West FNCS with Dukes. But if anything changes, I'll make sure to let you guys know as soon as possible. Let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now in EU, this tournament was all over the place. We saw things like brand new trios, teams finally get back together, trying to prepare for next season, and so much more. The trio in 1st place though is an official brand new team of Sky, Scroll, and thomashd. Now this is the trio that everybody has been waiting on. Of course, after thomashd left his trio of Panzer and Uppel, he was originally playing with Sky and Eyedrop. Then they had a couple of underperformances, and so he finally decided to pull the trigger on the thomashd, Sky, and Scroll trio. The triple Danish trio is officially here. We know Sky and Scroll have so much experience playing together from all of their time in duos, and now they're picking up thomashd, who honestly has quietly been one of the best players of this entire season. His stats every single tournament are like almost far and away better than anybody else's on all of EU, and they absolutely dominated the opens, getting 392 points, winning 3 out of their 5 matches, and finishing with far and away the most elims as well, getting 109 total elims, and their average placement was a 2.2. Just absolutely disgusting stuff from them. 2nd place was Slavic. 3rd place was Combeck, Shark, and Blaha. So it looks like these guys are sticking together after their first top 10 together in the last Cash Cup. Very excited to see how these guys are actually going to do moving on to next season now. 4th place was Chiefs. 5th place was Chino, Pablo, and Ferdoxy. It looks like these guys are fully back in grinding together now after pretty much not playing together the entire season after getting 2nd in grands with each other. 6th place was Moneymaker, Fanayan, and Faded. 7th place was Akira, Kirma, and Warix. 8th place was Queasy, Haris, and Chicho. Of course, don't take any of these teams too seriously that have already qualified for LAN that are just playing this tournament together. We should 100% see all the official teams back together next season. 9th place was Fido, and then rounding out the top 10, they are back, the trio of Wheat, Nafrizzi, and Lucia. If you guys missed my video from yesterday, Wheat is officially unbanned now, or uninactivated, I guess that's what he technically was. He is back, and the trio is back as well. Some other big names we had that were able to qualify was like 12th place of Vico, Eyedrop, and Vino on 248. 14th place, a team that I got a lot of DMs about because people were very confused on what was happening, but Mr. Savage, Grippe, and Rezon finished with 243 points. No, Mr. Savage and Rezon have not dropped Chap. I think from the information I was able to gather, Mr. Savage and Rezon originally thought that Chap was not going to be able to play today, and so then they got Grippe to play with them. And then literally like I think just 30 minutes before the tournament started, Chap said that he was going to be able to play, but Mr. Savage and Rezon didn't want to do Grip A dirty and drop him 30 minutes before the tournament started. So they decided to just stick with him and play with him just for the last tournament of the season. Get it from like a moral perspective of them wanting to like not be disrespectful to Grip A or anything. But I do still think that Mr. Savage, Rezon, and Chap do need all of the practice they can get together before the next season and FNCS starts. Also, Chap wasn't even able to qualify, so Mr. Savage and Rezon are not gonna have to worry about potentially getting dropped by Chap, because say he performed better with a new trio this week, then maybe he started getting some of those thoughts in his head. But as of right now, they should be sticking together going into next season. And then we had like 32nd place of Trulix, Chini, and Skavi, and that was pretty much it for all of the super big names that were able to qualify. Of course, though, we did have a couple of other big names that were not able to qualify, but I honestly don't know how much you guys really care about that, since this is just the last tournament of the season. But a trio that I know you guys might care about is 208th place of Mongraal and his brand new trio of Kaido and Haijo. Now, of course, Mongraal is looking for a completely new trio after him and Turtle decided to split. I honestly do kind of doubt that this is going to be like the official team going into next season. I wouldn't be surprised if he's continuing to just try out with different people pretty much every single day and things like scrims, or just when the first tournament start of next season as well. These guys were only able to get one game inside of the top 10, and that was their very first game, and then they really did just massively struggle after that. Let's actually move on to how the finals went now, though. Now in the finals, we had a couple of big names that were able to get wins, like starting off with in first place was the trio of Chino, Pablo, and Fredoxy. Now they only really had one good game today, but that was all that mattered. They were able to win the very final game of the day, getting a 9 elimination win. Their other games before that, they really had no consistency at all. Hopefully this will be a nice little confidence boost for them, though, going into the new season for a trio that really does just have so much potential. Second place was Vico, Vino, and iDrop. They were able to win game 2 today, getting a 7 elimination win. Another team that really didn't have any other consistency after that, not even getting a single other game inside of the top 10. Third place was a pretty underrated team, winning game 1 with a 10 elimination win of Slavic, Chuck, and Azit. Again, pretty much the exact same story for the other two teams, not any other consistency out of the single game win that they got. And I guess you could honestly say that for every single one of our game winners, because the trio in fourth place, winning game 3 with a 5 elimination win, was Fido, Cringe, and Jewel, another team that didn't have a single other game inside of the top 15. So this was just a really weird finals all around. I'm not even gonna lie to you. A team that did have a lot of consistency, though, was Eclipse, Dexy, and Twy, the brother trio. Every single one of their 4 games today were inside of the top 10. They were also able to finish with the most elims in this entire tournament as well, of 32 total elims. I am honestly so excited to see how this team is going to look in an FNCS season. I can see if they can continue this level of play that they showed in the Star Wars season going into the next. 6th place is Snazy, Ice, and Vecco. 7th place is the brand new trio of Sky, Scroll, and Thomas HD. That name is going to take me a while to get used to, but I am just still so happy that these guys decided to trio up together. They didn't get any games inside the top 5, but their best games were like a 7 elimination 8th and a 12 elimination 7th. Pretty solid day for them as well. 8th place was Cheeps, 9th place was Akira, and then rounding out the top 10 was Art Skill. We only had a couple of big names outside of the top 10, like 21st place of Mr. Savage, Grip A, and Rezon. They really also couldn't find any consistency in the finals. Not going to go too much in depth on them, though, since of course this isn't like their official trio or anything. We had like Queasy, Chris, and Chicho in 24th. Can also probably say the same thing for them. And that was honestly about it. Let's move on to the Kin stats now. So unfortunately, Kinch has only currently posted the Kin stats for the opens. So if the finals are up by the time this video gets edited, I'll make sure to put them on the screen. But if they're not there, it'll just be the stats from the opens. Other than that, though, remember, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Hope you guys enjoyed the last tournament of the season with all of the brand new crazy items and the Peterbot and Pollo reuniting as well. Please just go K-Dog in the Fortnite item shop if you guys want to support me even more. YouTube says to enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter and my Twitch, link in the description down below, as we're going to be returning to Twitch next season to grind out these tournament streams. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.